Hi folks, it's about 11:30 p.m. Well, I don't mean it's confirmed PM, but just in case. Well, there are some places on the planet that 11:30 a.m. is just dark. So you need to confirm it. Just in case. Absolutely, just in case. Hi. Well, the first topic anyway. Come here, Mollie, it's fine. First topic is going to be based upon something I saw today. I was watching the latest episode of Grey's Anatomy, where you had one of the characters, Miranda. She had invited her elderly parents to come and live in Seattle before COVID had struck, and she put them in this lovely nursing home, thinking that they'd be safe and well there and well protected and taken care of, etc, 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 and that of course her and her husband could then go and visit with their children, her parents, a lot easier because they'd be in the same city. But her mum, who has Alzheimer's, then catches COVID from the home. And of course, at the end, her mum dies. But in the episode, of course, Miranda is blaming herself for her mum's predicament. The usual, but if I hadn't invited them here and told them they'd be safe here, she wouldn't have got COVID, so she wouldn't be dying. Guilt associated with what was intended to be, what was thought to be, good advice. But any other time would have been fantastic advice, wouldn't it, really? Now, of course, that's a TV programme, but what it does bring up is the issue of guilt by the fact that our decision making can sometimes hurt others. Even though our decision making is not intended to hurt others in any way, shape or form. But the problem is that sometimes that can happen. And when it does, you just have to look at it from a point of view of wisdom. Again, did you intend to hurt the people that you hurt? No. But therefore, if that's the case, don't worry about it. Nothing you could have done. Yeah, we make decisions all the time. We choose to do things all the time. Occasionally, something we do is going to have a detrimental effect on someone else. That's life. It may be the case that God wants us to do something that's going to have a negative effect on someone else. Maybe that's what God wants. And if God wants that, then who are you to question? But yeah, in life, that's the point. We have to make decisions. That's part of living. We have to decide to put one foot in front of another. That's one decision that we make. And yes, we make many, many more. And some of those are going to affect other people in a good way. So therefore, some are going to affect people in a bad way. That's the reality. The question is, did you intend to affect people in a bad way? If no, then okay, let it go. You didn't intentionally try to hurt someone, so therefore let it go. You're not in the wrong. It just happened, and these things can happen. That's life. Well, it's like, as I said before, you're not going to be friends with every person. Even every Christian you meet. You won't be friends with every single Christian that you meet. It just won't happen. Because we've all got different personalities. Some of us are more extreme than others, and the more extreme Christians, generally speaking, don't tend to like the ones that aren't that extreme, and vice versa. We tend to like people that think the same as we do. So, if you are someone who wants to challenge others, then you like to be challenged, or you should like to be challenged, because you're meeting people that think that other people should be challenged as well, so that they should challenge others, so they're going to challenge you. They're like-minded people, so that's healthy. The problem is, if you think that you shouldn't be challenging others, you're not really going to want to be around people that are going to challenge you, are you? That's the reality. So, we can offend people through just being who you are. And again, that's fine. Right, leave it. Nutter. God, yeah. Stop picking that rubbish on the floor. So, just being who you are, you can be an offence to somebody. But again, that's okay. Not an issue at all, because it's always the case that, and I've spoken about this many times before as well, when people take offence, it's usually a case that God has allowed that offence to take because he's trying to teach someone. So it's how they react to the offence that's the issue. That's important. How do they react to it? They got offended, okay. How do you react to that offence? That's what God's looking at. Because how you react to it is the most important point. Yeah. And so, if you get offended by somebody, and you will, you're going to get offended by people. It happens. Sometimes people do things that, to a certain degree, certainly from a worldly perspective, you should be offended by. However, again, if you're looking at things from a kingdom perspective, you wouldn't get offended. And you wouldn't, because you would see the bigger picture. All really comes back to the point that as a Christian, we should be looking at things from kingdom perspective. From the point of view of God. How would the Lord see this? I mean, we used to have that thing, WWJS, or JD. What would Jesus do? What would Jesus say? Well, what would he think about that? What would the Lord think about that issue? How would he think about it? Would he be offended by it? Nope. Now, let's not pretend that the Lord never got offended. He did. Oh, he did. Yes. When people were using his father's house to buy and sell stuff, he got highly offended by that. Don't churches have bring and buy sales? Would that be offensive to the Lord? If not, why not? It's, yeah. I don't think the Lord would be offended by a bring and buy sale, to be honest. It's not about people making profit, is it? It shouldn't be, at least. I mean, that's not really the idea of a bring and buy sale, is it, really? So, but the Lord got offended, yes. Occasionally, the Lord got offended. The Lord would be offended. Like if the Lord was walking along the streets and he saw someone spit on a homeless person, or kick a homeless person, or abuse a homeless person in any way, shape or form, I'm pretty sure the Lord would be offended by that, yes. And absolutely be offended by that. Certainly be offended by the way people treat others badly, but don't be offended by the way people treat you badly. We're going to turn back in a second because, again, the drainage issue here has not been resolved. That tree has been surrounded by water now for about a week. It's still surrounded by water, and down here is going to be absolute, yep, there's still a river down here. It's a bit smaller now, the river. At one point I couldn't see the grass on the other side of those trees. So it's gone away a bit, but I mean the council, yeah, I would say in this one, definitely the council, if they want your council tax, they should be getting out and dealing with us. Because one of the major issues is leaves falling into the drain system. Then sort it out, come on. That's the job of the council to sort all this stuff out, really. That's what you pay council tax for. Anyway, so we turn back. That's why we're turning back. Because no point trying to walk through that, and yeah, I can walk on the grass, but the grass is going to be all soggy and yeah, unpleasant. So there's no point doing that. I'd rather keep the doggies away from the water. Amber, leave. You go drink it at home, you dozy cow. You don't know what the heck's in that water. Do you, nutter? Right, so leave it. Dozy dog. You alright, Riley? How you doing, mate? Anyway, so yes. Yeah. Well, it's not even that. One could get offended with that, but there's no point being offended by it. There's a practical problem. There's a practical solution. It's up to the people who are paid to do that to do it. Simple as that. If they're not going to do it, they're not going to do it. Now, for example, when I talked about leaves, look here. Sludge and leaves. That's absolutely disgusting. And in there is blocked up with sludge and leaves. So really the council would just need to come, clean all these areas out, and then the water will just flow a lot easier. You know, clean it all out, flush it all through. Yeah, they can do that quite easily. They have teams that are qualified to do that. So get it done, and then you know it will drain. We have this issue every single time there's a heavy load of rain. I mean, in the summer we get torrential downpours occasionally, and same thing, but it drains away a lot quicker. In the summer, of course, partly because heat tends to dissipate water, doesn't it? A lot quicker. It evaporates partly, so yeah. Amber, how much more do you need to drink, donut? You're going to get home soon, you'll have a drinky there, right? There's clean, drinky rainwater at home, right? Loads of it. Dozy, they always try and drink out of puddles, dirty puddles that people have walked through. You might have had vehicles sitting there with oil leaking into it and whatever. So that's a good idea, really. But there you go. There you go, indeed. Oh, going from what I was saying earlier about where we might accidentally offend people, where we might accidentally hurt people in some ways. I mean, it's certainly a case, take responsibility for the things you do, that you actually do when you intend to maybe hurt people. Take responsibility for that. Certainly make those situations right. Yeah. Certainly as a Christian, don't get into worldly squabbles. Not a good idea. You're going to lose. You get into it because, again, not your kingdom anymore, is it? You don't have rights. Not really. As a citizen of a country, to a certain degree you have rights, but it's like in America, you've got the church that's so heavily involved in politics. They try and push the agenda of the church, and the problem is it's a rather demonic church that's trying to push that agenda. It's a church of hate rather than a church of love that's trying to push that because it's right wing. and it's nasty right-wing stuff. But even they don't really have rights. Not in that system, because unless you're doing the will of the devil in your church, which some of them are, oh yeah, some of them are, the ones that stand outside with signs that say, God hates fags. There's a lot of things that God hates. He doesn't hate people. Yeah, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. The world, everyone. For God so loved everyone. He doesn't like necessarily what people do. So does God like the business of homosexuality, as in the what homosexual people do in the privacy of their own home? Does God like that? No. Does God agree with that? No. Does that mean he hates the people? No. Not in any way, shape or form. And anyone who says that God hates fags is someone who's serving the will of the devil, not serving God. Anyone who's serving God will be offering love. So really, generally speaking, if you disagree with homosexuality, then you need to help people to understand why it's wrong. Help people to understand it from the spiritual point of view. But you first of all need to understand it from the spiritual point of view. Same as if you disagree with abortion. Don't stand outside abortion clinics accusing the people in there or the women that go in there of murder. That's not helpful. I know that to a certain degree you're right. Yeah, strictly speaking, you're right. It is murder, strictly speaking, yes. But that's not going to change anyone. It really isn't. You're judging them. Judging them is not going to change anything, because they've already, pretty much the majority of the women that go in there have already judged themselves. Yeah, they've come to an incredibly difficult decision. So don't judge them. That's not your job. Your job is not to judge these people. Not at all. Your job is to act in a loving way towards them. So maybe offer a solution, offer an alternative to them having to kill the baby that they're carrying, that they really, for whatever reason, truly believe is the best option, is to kill that baby. Maybe offer an alternative. Maybe offer a way for the person to have the baby, to raise the baby, to have the baby, then have the baby adopted. But make sure you're there helping her to do that. All the way through. But it's easier just to judge, isn't it? That's why you judge, and that's why it's demonic. Because you're doing the easy, nasty thing. And so when you're like that, my point is, when you're like that, yes, the devil will help you because you're doing things his way. If you're doing things according to God's kingdom, then you are not of this kingdom. And this kingdom will not help you. They will not help you. They just will not. So, don't get involved in the squabbles of this world. You know, don't get involved with the squabbles between each other. That stank for a second. It smelled like poo. I haven't stepped in anything. I'll have to wipe my feet on grass in a minute. Right, Smiley Riley. How you doing, mate? He's a good bubba. We'll walk around here a bit more. We've got other areas we can walk around here. Like we can walk more or less into that bridge over there. till we come to the wet bits and then walk back again. Right. That's cool. As I said before, keep a watch out on you, on improving you. Make the most of the life that you have. Definitely, but deal with your issues, because you don't want the devil grabbing hold of your issues and using them to drag you down. I watched something else earlier that was 100 musicians, something like that, who have died before the age of 60. And it's shocking, absolutely shocking, the amount of them that died of suicide. I mean, if you count drug overdose as suicide, which it pretty much is, because if you're mucking around with drugs, cocaine and heroin and other drugs, you're basically saying you're risking. You're happy to risk your life because you know that you're risking your life. Certainly, over the past 20, 30 years, drug overdose has been very much in the news. So people using those sort of drugs have been fully aware that the risks they take. And it's like, really, when you're using those sort of drugs, it is like playing Russian roulette. But with these musicians, so many of them died of drug overdose or straightforward suicide. Crazy. A number of them died of drowning. Drowning? You're a musician, what the bloody hell are you doing drowning? Crazy. Crazy. Aye. Well, of course, there was a few ended up with gunshots, including John Lennon. He was only 40. He was only 40, but he looked about 60 when he died. But I spoke about that recently when I talked about fashion. The fashion then and the fashion now. Fashion makes so much of a difference. The fashion and the way of life, because people's way of life now is a lot more gym orientated or fitness orientated, which means that people, generally speaking, will live longer and should be a bit healthier. But it's like Karen Carpenter, the singer, died of heart failure because of anorexia. And then there was another lady who was obese, a singer in a group, who died of heart failure due to obesity, basically. So 2 people died of heart failure, one down to not eating enough and one down to eating far too much. Crazy. I mean, those could be counted as suicide as well, couldn't they, really? It is absolutely insane. Oh, quite concerning, really, when you think about it. Quite concerning, really. Bizarre, to say the least, isn't it? What people do to themselves. Yeah. But you can certainly see that being a musician was a tough situation for people to be in. Leave it loose. Lucy, get your bot. Good girl, Lucy. Well done, bub. I parked the car a bit further out this time because I saw a bottle there I thought Lucy could get, so I thought I'm not going to park the car right against it. Lucy, bop bop. Lucy, wait. Lucy, bop bop. Get your bop bop loose. Well, Mollie's got it now. Right, Lucy, leave it. Come on this way. Choo choo. Choo choo. Chewie, come. Where's Riley? Riley! Come on, Riley, hurry up. Come on, boy. Aye. I say in the artist, it was a few of the best. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those are people, certainly a lot of those people were people that the devil used their issues to drag them down and to drag them further down to the point where they took their own lives. Yeah. A lot of them, they were in their early 20s, and they killed themselves. They barely had any experience of life, yet they had already decided that it wasn't worth living. Crazy. Absolutely insane, but that's what the devil does. Takes those bad bits of you, those things that you feel so bad about, and twists and turns it. Uses it to rob you of even life itself. Crazy business. Lucy, leave now. Come on, this way. Lucy, leave. Spin out. Mollie, Connie. Come, Bubs. Amber, head up now. Head up, Amber. There are people walking over there. They must have walked past that massive puddle. Oh, okay, cool. We didn't. They walked back. So to go back, not going to go past that. You've got chippies. Are they chippies? Yeah. Saw chippies earlier. Yeah, lots of chippies all over the place. Come on, this way. Come on, this. Yes, sir, Bubba. Somebody obviously had a bag of chippies and then dropped those all over the place. For some reason. Don't know why. Yeah. Buy chippies, eat them. I just drop them all over the floor. What's the matter with you? Silly people. No, but that's why, as I say, hopefully church will be a place where people can come. Because if that's the case, then the devil can't use your issues to try and destroy you or damage you. Take away the things that he would use. Let God deal with those things. Hello, Chew. How you doing, mate? Hello, Mollie Collie. How you doing, Bubs? Okay. That person has a doggy. Okay, and they go up there. Cool. Okay. Lady with a doggy one, that's it. Yeah. So, as I say, that's been one of my hopes. That we can have a church that can help people to deal with stuff. Chewie, leave now. Walk away. Rubbish here. Bin just here. Just there. Empty bloody bin. Just chuck it on the floor. Great. Really useful. Riley, leave it. Now. Stop eating rubbish. So it really gets me about people. They put it there. There's a bin there. That's blinking well empty. If it is full, I'd understand it, but empty. I mean, that is so disrespectful, that is. Not just to the people that come and clean the area, which, to be honest, they have got people that do that. They don't seem to do a great job of it, but they've got people that do it. But also, people with dogs. And most people don't want their dogs eating rubbish on the floor because you don't know what's there. Come on, this way. Yeah, I'm not sure how far the water is. It's certainly going down to about that area, because that's where we were earlier, up there. And so it's coming down here a bit, probably to that tree there. But exactly how far, I do not know. I think the person with the doggy must have walked on the grass to get past that, so we might try that. We might as well try that, yeah. One sec. Well, just asking the Lord to, if there's anything else He wants me to give, and the only thing I got is, you are who you are for a reason. Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't know why they are who they are, or certainly don't understand the reason for it, but there is a reason. I mean, some of us aren't completed yet. That's a certainty. There's still work to be done. We're not completed. God isn't finished. Yeah. So, once God is finished, we'll be able to see why we are who we are. Some of us, we are finished. But I'm certainly not. Not in any way, shape or form. There's still work to be done. And that's cool. I mean, there probably will be until the day I die, I imagine. Amber, where are you going? This way. This way. Come, Amber, this way. Come on, where are you going? Not going that way, Nutter. Come here, Amber, here. Get out the water, Nutter. That's where the water goes. Okay, so what's going to be the best way to go around that then? Oh, it's actually starting to dissipate, because I can see there's a little island in the middle of that water of dryness. See, this is what I'm talking about, all the sludge that's going into the drains. It's all bits of stuff on trees. If the council just come and sweep this up, collect it, put it in the compost or something, I don't know, that's going to help. Chewie, wait, come on, Mollie, come. Come on, this way. No good you being over there. You're going to run across the big winking load of water, aren't you? Not clever. So, yeah. Why you are who you are. Yeah. Well, basically the purpose why we're left here is to be a vessel for God to use. So, you are who you are because, God needs you to be that way, or, as I say, maybe you're just not finished. There's a lot of people that are nowhere near finished because they've not let God start. But we're not going to go on talking about that for too much, because that's what it is. Those people have got to deal with that. Those people have got to understand, that they may have wasted all those years as being a Christian, and that's for them to deal with. Hopefully the majority of spirit-filled born-again Christians are certainly near to the point where they need to be for God to use them. But when you look at who you are, your personality, you should start to see that maybe God wants to use you in a certain way. And that's good. That you are who you are because that's who God needs you to be. Oh, that's very soggy, this glass. Really soggy. Can you hear that? Oh, that's really soggy, that is. That's got a lot of drainage still to do. Hi. Put it this way, this tree, I wouldn't think we need watering for a while. Neither should that one. They've had plenty of water. They really, really have. Those are still underwater. They won't need watering for about another year. Plenty. They're getting plenty now. Yet they won't need any more. Oh, jeez, you can hear that. That is slippery soggy as well. Jeez. That's bad, that is. That's really slippery as well, that was. So, yeah. But certainly some you'll know by your own personality. Are you a counsellor? If you're a counsellor, then you'll be involved in the pastoral team, because that's your job. Are you great at administration? Then you'll be involved in that area. Are you a good patient person? Are you able to sense what God is saying? Because if you are, then you might be in the prayer team. That might be your job. Once God has trained you a bit more, that might be what your job is. To help the church to get right, because you're going to be the one that's going to sense who God wants in charge. And don't think for a second that any one of these positions is lower than any other, because they're not. They're all integral. It's like the human body. You have all these different parts of your body that as soon as you take one of those bits away, the body struggles massively. It's why they call the person disabled. Because you lose a limb, you even lose a toe. You lose a big toe. That can have a massive effect on your ability to walk. Can't it? So many of the people that I mentioned earlier, the 100 musicians, quite a few of those died of, various forms of cancer in different areas of their body. One was liver. Very young person. I can't remember what the person's name was. I do apologise. That person died. And, it was it was liver cancer. Very, very young. I mean, what was it? One woman, Melanie Applegate, one of the singers of Mel and Kim, the ones who did the song Showing Out in the 80s, early 90s, I think. It was early 90s, yeah. She died of, she'd had treatment for cancer. She got pneumonia. She died of pneumonia because she had treatment for cancer. The whole body just died because one area was having treatment for something and the body just couldn't cope. That's the human body. And the spiritual body is the same. It needs its parts to work. It needs all the parts to work well. If certain bits aren't working, the whole body, the function is disabled. Each and every part has its own part to play. Each and every person has a part to play in each and every part of the body. You're all integral to the work that God has to do. You're all integral. So many of the ministries, like healing ministry, is the one that people look at. That's the glorious one, isn't it? That's the one that gets all the attention. These people lay hands on someone, that person gets healed. Far more glorious than admin, isn't it, really? But you see, the point of it is the church can't function without the admin. Not properly. It struggles, and it really does struggle without that. And if the leader's having to do that, the leader can't do the rest of the stuff that they're supposed to be doing. So you need someone who knows what they're doing. Someone godly to do that, who is good at that sort of stuff. For the church to run right. Now, if the church is running right, the church can equip the saints. And the saints can go out. So it could be a case where, that person who deals with admin is the key to that person going out, laying hands on people, and people being healed. So if it wasn't that person with the admin skills doing their job, the church wouldn't be able to equip the saints, and therefore the person who goes out couldn't have gone out. That's the point. You also get the point where some people are supposed to work for God full time. That's their job. Other people are supposed to work in the world. But the money they give to the church to help to fund the church and to help to fund God's work, you need admin staff to make sure that money goes to where it's supposed to go to. To make sure also in a world system that the church pays the tax it's supposed to pay. I mean, the Lord said, give unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. So you pay your tax. You've got to do that. But you need people who can know what they're doing in that way. And those people can glorify God with keeping good books. Make sure that everything is up to date in that way. So that the church doesn't have legal problems down the line when the books have been kept badly. So don't think that a mere bookkeeper is of far less value than someone who is called into the healing ministry, because that is just complete rubbish. Again, that's worldly thinking, that's not spiritual. That's not kingdom thinking, that's worldly thinking. That's Lucifer kingdom thinking. Well, that's basically Lucifer kingdom thinking, in the sense of viewing that a celebrity is worth far more than a road cleaner. Even though the road cleaner keeps our streets clean, what does a celebrity do? Nothing. What a celebrity really does, most celebrities, certainly the lower level celebrities, they are just there so that the public have someone to look at and say, well, at least I'm not as bad as they are. So they're there to basically keep society down and dumb. Which is like, well, that's not good, is it, really? Don't want that. Go on, Chewie, you get it, mate. You get your bop. Where you got it, Chewie? Chewie got a bop. Good boy, didn't you? Good boy, Mr. Chew. Alright, they're good babies. They're good doggies. Hello, Mollie. How you doing, bubs? Mollie got a sticky. I think Mollie got a sticky. Aye. Anyway, so, yeah. Keep an eye on that side of you, on those things. You know, speak to God about it. You know, ask God for guidance as to what He wants you to work on. Yeah, because not work on them necessarily as in things to be dealt with. It could be work on, possibly on skills for you to work on. You can be better skilled in certain areas. Yeah. Because the right example is where skills are what you need. Yeah. Well, for example, if you're being asked to, by God, that God wants you to be part of the children's ministry, you may need skills. You may need to learn to play an instrument. You may need to learn to play a different instrument, or many instruments. You may need to learn crafts and stuff like that. You may need to learn counselling. In the end, God knows what you need. And so let God guide you. Mollie did have a sticky. Here you go. Hello, Mollie. How you doing? There you go. Said it. Mollie had a sticky, didn't you? Here's a good girl. Good girl, Mollie Carly. Love her, love her, love her. Yeah. Aye. Just be ready. Be ready for when God calls you. That's what I say. Make sure you're ready. You know, spend the time you've got. You know, Lord, what do I need to work on? What do I need to do? Yeah. But for me, what I need to work on is really making sure that I ask God, what do you want me to say? Is there anything you want me to say? Because there isn't really. I mean, like the other day, I did a video last night, I think. It was an 18-minute video in the end. I was out here for a good 40 minutes talking. Got home, got rid of most of it, because most of it was just me talking. I had a moan about the drainage issue, and I cut that out because it wasn't what God wanted. It wasn't what God wanted me to say. It wasn't something that God wanted me to bring. So I cut that out and just put in what God wanted me to bring. It made the video look a bit disjointed because I finished one bit in one place, ended up started up on the next bit in a different place. That's called tough. Because in the end, so when we was over there, I stopped and I said to God, okay. I paused the video and I said, what do you want me to say? Is there anything you want me to say? Is there anything you want me to bring? If not, I'll just send the video now. If there's nothing really more to say, then the video needs to end, because, I'm only going to get in talking about stuff that is irrelevant. And I've done videos like that before. I've talked about gym, I've talked about football, I've talked about music, I've talked about that sort of stuff. Now, sometimes that's okay, but I think at the moment there are far more important things to be talking about. And it's just a case of hearing from God as to what things He wants. Come here, now, here. Come here, Chewie, here. That was nearly a problem. Yeah. Come here, now. Right, there you go. Anyway, I've explained that, so I'm going to get into the car. 1 second. Right, God bless. Bye-bye.